Welcome to part 8. We're now moving into a more creative phase of reintroducing color and adding a second hatching layer. I'm Christo with 923 Animation, and in this scene we've got Dylan Sisson's Walking Teapot with our own materials. First, let's switch the hatching visualizer to hatching final. This will merge the signal over the beauty. And now, because we have color and diffuse lighting information in our render, we may want to go back to our lights and tweak some exposure values to balance things out a little. For example, I'll reduce the diffuse multiplier of our Pixar ramp light filter down to 2 to allow some of that hatching in the background to show up again. I may also take the saturation down to 0.5. I'll also take the exposure of our teapot disc light down to 2.75. And while we are on it, let's give it a light group name. This can be anything, but I'll just copy paste the category name we used in part 6. We can use it to separate the signal of this light into a custom AOV. Let's do that now, and I'll show you how useful it can be just after. So let's head over to the ResRop where under images we can add a custom AOV. I'll name it direct diffuse underscore teapot underscore dist. Its source will be an LPE expression. So we could read this expression as something in the lines of collect the light paths of reflected or transmitted light from teapot dist involved in diffuse scattering events which reach the camera directly. Let's restart our IPR session. And here's our custom AOV, which collects only the light paths, direct light paths for the teapot disc light. Before we add a second hatching filter, let's tweak some of the settings on this one. A weighted blending mode will reveal the blending overlap slider, which I'll set to 0.25. You can experiment with this and the rainbow test toggle to get a feel for what it does. Let's also enable the spline ramp and maybe set a mellow S-shaped curve for a little extra contrast. Okay, let's duplicate this filter, give the copy a new name and add it to the ResRop. I'll also change the texture set to woven. Now here's something pretty cool. For its signal AOV, let's type the name of the custom AOV we've just created. That would be direct diffuse underscore teapot underscore dist. And enable the light mask switch. If we now turn the hatch color to something fairly high in value, maybe between 5 or 6, we get hatching in the directly illuminated areas of the teapot only. Let's maybe disable the spline ramp. And let's reset the blending overlap back to 1. Maybe we could also up the frequency a little. Maybe let's try the blending overlap and blending hold sliders again. Alright, I think I will commit to this. So up until now we've only used grayscale values for our hatching contribution set by the constant hatch color parameter. Just as with Pixar stylized lines, we are able to vary the color per material. We'll do that in the next and final part, so I hope to see you there. Cheers!